Oh yeah, I
Switch
gotta
over to the
request
spaces.
to speak.
All right, quick audio check, Mitch.
Check in, 1 2 1 2. Got me.
All right, one more time.
Hello, hello.
I can't hear you on the space.
Hmm. Oh,
I don't know if that's
because I
just
was
me or
mute because I was muted on the space. You got me now?
no, try one more time.
1 2 1 2. Microphone checker.
Hmm. I'm wondering if it's just me. This happened last time. Let me
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
gonna try
know.
dropping out and joining back. Hopefully it doesn't drop the space.
Oh boy.
So it's a risk.
Where is the let's see if people can hear me on the thread comments. I
All
gotta
right,
get
I
to
think I think
where is the thread?
God, sometimes I really hate spaces. Can you try one more time?
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm gonna try dropping you and then adding you
Okay.
back. And then I just added you back. Spaces have been really unreliable lately.
And I'm back. I think they hear that sucks. I think everyone else hears me.
Yeah, I think they can hear you, but I can't. Let me try something.
That was weird. It was like you responded to me even though they can't hear me. Those of you in the threadcast, confirm who you can hear. Apparently there's an echo from the cat. Hmm.
Okay, now I got you.
You got me?
Yeah, now I got you loud and clear.
Okay.
Oh,
Apparently there's an echo. I don't know if that was from you or me.
yeah, that the echo is my fault. It was because I had you on two different places to see why I could hear you. Because I could hear you on desktop, but not on mobile. But now we're good.
Gotcha.
Yeah, now we're good. Sweet. All right. Gotta love spaces. You gotta love spaces.
The places and spaces.
Yeah, Vic Van said it's echoing. I think the echo should be done now, so hopefully you don't hear it anymore. Now you guys can hear me. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. Spaces was being just kind of shitty.
Yeah, if there's an echo, I don't know. Maybe I can,
No,
maybe if
I
I'm,
think we're good on the echo.
okay.
Yeah, I think that was on my end. Yeah, I think we're good now. Yeah,
Well, the good news,
let us know if you hear an
YouTube.
echo.
Well, we got people listening on YouTube, so I feel like that's
Yeah,
always the,
YouTube's always the reliable one.
yeah, everyone can hear. Sweet. All right, so I saw you posted something, an announcement. It sounds like there's a lot of big things. Oh, you put it at the top of the Threadcast too. So,
Um, yeah, we could dive into some of those. Speaking of announcements, I gotta get the
oh,
AMA.
so yeah.
Yeah, the AMA announcement out.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll just touch on the bullet points. So, um, for the top of the thread and the post and announcements on Discord, looks like some cool things are launching and about to roll out. So I know a lot of people have been asking about LeoShorts. So LeoShorts on 3speak going to happen. New leaderboard will be interesting. I'm curious to see what that's going to look like and how it functions. And then obviously referral system. Oh, sweet. There's going to be we got a little For You feed algo update. Good. I feel like mine's been much better since like a couple months ago, which makes sense too, because obviously it's quote unquote learning.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll just kind of go down the list and touch on each one. So the Leo shorts is obviously the big one that everyone keeps asking about. We've been working on that for pretty long time now, and I've mentioned it I think in the last two AMAs. Um, it's been so our original plan for shorts didn't end up like it didn't work. So like the way we were going to do it originally, it just wouldn't work from a technical perspective with the way that 3speak handles shorts on the Hive blockchain. So if you guys have ever used 3speak shorts, then you'll know that it actually does a full blog post when you make one. So obviously that doesn't work very well for the setup that we're going for. So that led us down a rabbit hole, which is very similar to how we ended up building threads. So we basically have built an entire backend to handle shorts, which wasn't originally, obviously in the plan. But now we have a container approach to 3speak shorts. So I'm pretty excited to unveil that. It's the backend is actually, I would say the backend is 100% complete now. It's more just fixing any bugs that arise. Obviously, once it gets rolled out to production and you guys start using it and people start posting a lot of videos on there, that's when we're going to find the majority of the bugs. But right now we're just working on making sure the containers are stable and it's all working properly in a small kind of subset of users, which is obviously just our kind of private dev testing team. So it's working fine right now in terms of the back end. So right now we're going to finish out the front end. We've got a couple things to work through with that. So there's two kind of key aspects to the front end. The first is that shorts get embedded into a thread. So in your normal thread feed, you'll just see videos embedded alongside other threads. And the second piece to it is that there's going to be an entirely new feed of just videos. So it's only videos and more specifically, it's only shorts, which are any videos under 60 seconds. So that feed specifically will be only shorts. And the design of it looks like TikTok or YouTube shorts where it's a full screen video. And then you like swipe up or scroll to see the next video. And all the controls are like on the screen. So like if you upvote it, there's going to be like a little heart icon in the middle right of the screen. So there's two kind of design UI aspects to it. I'm going to say that most likely this week we're going to roll out shorts to production. And with that, we're going to roll out the threads part of the UI. And then we'll probably hold back the new feed design just for a little while, just to get the actual like back end. I want to make sure the containers are working really well. The uploading process is working really well. And then from there, we can kind of roll out the next phase of the UI, which will be that kind of TikTok style UI. So yeah, that's where shorts stand. I know that I keep talking about it and it's been a while, but we had to go back to the drawing board a few different times and ultimately build an entire backend for it, which I obviously wasn't planning on having to do. So that's why it's been taking so long and it's required a lot of effort from the team. So I mentioned in the thread and on the tweet that I put out about this AMA that we've been kind of cooking in the background for a while, and the reason why is really because we've been building this back end. Simultaneous with that, we've also been building a back end for the new leaderboard. So the new leaderboard, it's completely redesigned on both the front end and the back end. The front end is completely done now, and so is the back end. So we're just testing it in the private labs server. So after a few days of testing, I'm kind of the rough plan right now is to push all of this stuff live on Friday, and then do a little bit of like a bugathon with you guys. So we'll push it live Friday, maybe around like noon Eastern or something. This is unofficial, not confirmed. This is to be determined, but probably we're gonna push all this stuff around noon Eastern on Friday, and then me and the devs will like sit just for a few hours and watch the UI and watch the feedback come in from you guys. And then, as that feedback comes in, we'll be able to fix stuff. This is going to be, I mean, I kind of say this a lot, but this is going to be one of the biggest rollouts we've ever done, just in terms of like the amount of features that go live at the same time. So we're going to need a lot of feedback to make sure that this stuff, gets fixed and is smooth. You definitely expect a little bit of instability whenever we push this stuff live, because we're literally pushing, between this, the leaderboard, the referral system, and the new content recommendation, we're pushing like literally 4 backend and front end developments live at the same time. So it's gonna be a big moment in terms of new stuff. So I definitely expect some issues and bugs that we need to address right away. So that's the status on shorts. The leaderboard, like I said, the front end, back end are done. We're just testing everything. I'm excited about the design for it. I think it's I think it's a really cool, unique design for the leaderboard. And then the back end is our own instance of half SQL that we kind of modified in a few different ways to handle the actual data for the leaderboard. So the new leaderboard works on a points system versus the current one, which is the current one just doesn't work very well. It's basically tracking, number of threads, number of votes, stuff like that. The new one actually tracks that same data set, but then it assigns points to each action. So like if you create a thread, it's worth 1 point. But if you refer a new user, it's worth, like say 50 points. And the points add up each week and each month, and whoever has the most points is at the top of the leaderboard. So this is going to be pretty it's going to be a pretty big step function change in terms of the leaderboard. And also the current leaderboard doesn't work very well because the SQL instance it runs on, the APIs they go down relatively frequently. So like I would say probably half the time you try to load the current leaderboard, it doesn't actually work. So the new leaderboard is going to use our own half SQL instance. So it should be much more reliable. It's a private instance of half SQL. So it's like, it can't get hammered by other requests. It's only our requests that can go through. So yeah, that leaderboard is going to be a lot of fun. And I want to do a lot more, bounties and bonuses and rewards based on this leaderboard. Obviously, I've wanted to do that for a long time, but you don't want to do that with a leaderboard that doesn't work very well. You definitely want a stable, reliable leaderboard if you're going to start giving out rewards based on it. So all of that is going to start rolling out very soon, soon after the leaderboard goes live. And we may tweak the point system too. So be prepared for some tweaks to that in terms of how points are granted. I just want to make sure that it's, I want to make sure that the playing field is like, is in such a way that like it's not based on the amount. You can't like buy your way to the top. You can't find some workaround to cheat your way to the top. So it's just going to be something that we have to kind of evolve with as people start to use it and we see the kind of behavior behind it. And then the new referral system, it's based on the same backend as the current referral system. We've just made some updates and improvements to it. And then we're going to be adding rewards to the referral system. So you're going to actually earn points for referring people, both for the leaderboard and within the actual referral system itself. And then we're going to be giving out rewards based on those points. So it's basically like if you refer someone in, it's worth a certain amount of points. But if you refer someone in who then becomes very active for a very long period of time, you actually will get recurring points for it. So that then puts you guys in the driver's seat of saying, okay, we're going to refer people in, and then you get bonuses right away for doing that. But then if you are really active in retaining that user and getting them to keep coming back and keep creating threads and keep making blog posts and making comments and upvotes, and they keep doing actions, and if they subscribe to premium as well, that's even bigger in terms of referral bonuses. So all of that stuff will kind of add up to bonuses that you'll get. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be a really important way for us to grow the monthly active users. I put out a tweet, I think 2 weeks ago about it when we started working on it, but the entire goal behind it, the fundamental goal is to turn the existing user base, so our current 1,500 monthly active users into marketers. So you guys will all become, your own kind of little marketing machine. And each of you will have your referral code, you'll send it out, you'll aim to get, signups, and you'll retain those signups, earn rewards for doing so. And I think that that's really important. So we've got that.
I
I think I
mean,
may have lost audio.
oh yeah.
All right, no, we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever I get a phone call, Spaces just totally screws
Oh,
up.
ha, makes
Um,
sense.
yeah.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, obviously, plenty of questions have been floating through.
yeah, I can break there. I mean, we've got two more to go, but I'll take a break there and let's look at some of the questions.
No, I mean, you can continue on and hit all the bullet points.
No, that's all right. Let's
Okay.
I think you're right, because
Well, I
I do
mean, it's
see a
like,
lot of good questions.
well, obviously, in regards to, LeoShorts, since that was the main thing you were speaking about, and I think there's just like some baseline questions and then some, whatever, more detailed ones. But, um, Morty asked a pretty simple one in that, will the 3speak videos basically auto embed via link in threads like YouTube videos do, or how exactly will that function?
Um, yeah, sorry, I lost this again.
Friggin'
I think
spaces and phone calls.
yeah, I think I'm putting everything on Do Not Disturb now just to see if it stops doing that.
I'll
All
have to
right,
give you
repeat the last part of that
we're
question
gonna, you're gonna
because
have
it
to get
dropped
yourself
out.
a burner phone just for spaces.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, I got a little Android here. I guess you can't really see it.
There you go.
Maybe that'll become my Spaces phone. Um,
Yeah. Nothing, just the basic functionality of Leo Short. So basically, is it as simple as just um a 3speak video auto embedding on threads like via the link, like we do like with YouTube links?
so it is similar to that. It essentially, when you post the short, it is automatically making a thread for you that then embeds the short inside of that thread, if that makes sense. And then it also,
Okay.
like I said, there's two different pieces of the UI there. So there's one where it's embedding it into a thread so that it's in the normal, so that it's in the normal threads feed. But then there's the other part of it where it's actually like it's in its own feed, all the shorts.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Morty also asked when media tab on profile page, especially with shorts on the horizon now. I never really thought about that, but yeah, that would actually be pretty convenient. Hmm. What do we got here? Casper asked, how long are updates tested on Labs domain before they are pushed live? Well, from my experience, no time at all.
No, that's not
Everything is,
true.
I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are tested. I would say it depends on what the feature is. The more complex the feature is, the longer it will keep it sitting in labs. So like, something like the leaderboard or shorts sits in labs, significantly longer than something like the upvote button. Like we made some improvements to the upvote button. I think that one sat in labs for like a day or two. Yeah, it just kind of depends on the feature. And I see Guri has said this like 3 times. There's a typo bug on mobile web. I'm going to need a screenshot and information in a thread with hashtag feedback on the main threads feed. And then I'll take a look. Because I'm going to say it most likely depends on your device, and I would venture to bet that you're on Android. So I'm going to need information like what device you're on, login method, and then if you can provide a screenshot, that's how I can get that fixed. But yeah, things sit in labs, as long as basically what we do is we put things into labs and then we do testing internally. And then, once we've found everything that we can find with a small group of testers, then we push it to production after those things are fixed. So that's kind of our rollout strategy. Godfish said our lab's public again. No, I don't plan on making a public labs anytime soon. I didn't really like the status, or I didn't really like the state of things when we had a public labs domain, because I noticed that basically half the users used labs and then the other half used production. And then when people would give feedback, I'd have to ask them, are you on labs or are you on production? So ultimately it just ended up creating more work for us. And I think it also, made for a worse user experience for you guys, since most of you were on labs. So and then when you were sharing links, you would like share a link to labs, and then if someone was on production, they would get that link and then they would open it and they wouldn't be signed in because they're not signed into labs. So there's just so many nuances to that. I think what's going to happen in the long run is, as our community grows, we're going to have to create a subset of users who privately use labs. And you'll have to like sign up to doing so. And maybe if you're premium, we'll make it so that you can sign up to using your own version of labs, knowing that you're using something that has like the cutting edge features, but there's going to be bugs. So
Wow, I mean, essentially, it just sounds like having a um, exclusive group of beta testers,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
which is probably the right play. Um,
Yeah, Taskmaster said, here's a full explanation of the leaderboard. A lot of these questions have been answered. So
Perfect.
he put up a thread where he took the stuff that I've been putting on GitLab and then put it into a thread storm. So yeah, if you guys are curious about some of that stuff, you can go there. And I've started to kind of put some of the bigger ideas into GitLab. Um, this is it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but it essentially allows me to take stuff that's on the roadmap and then put it public so that I can get feedback on it before we even start building and designing it. So it kind of takes the private design phase of new features, from the roadmap, and then it puts it public. So yeah, that's going to be that's going to be a good thing going forward, where I can then improve an idea before we even start the development in any sort of form, which I think is good. Yeah, Morty, we already answered that about 3speak embedding.
Yeah, I think the whole answer is yes, like
Yeah.
to video in general, not just shorts. There's been a ton of questions in regards to like the referral program.
Yeah, that also, I believe there's a GitLab for that. I can't remember if I made it public or not. I believe there's a GitLab for the referral system as well. Let's see if I can get the link. Affiliate. Yeah, it's labeled affiliate program. Um, yeah, I didn't put all of the information live yet, but it has the broader, it has the thesis of what we're doing in it. I'll put the design of it live maybe later today. I've been kind of playing around with the UI of it. Guard, just saying there's a network issue. I'm not having any issues. I don't know if anyone else is. You can let me know. Yeah, Task
I think
just linked out to the thread for the affiliate program too.
Samuel asked if Red Storms and Threadcast will be awarded with points on the leaderboard.
At the moment, they are just counted as regular threads. So like if you make a thread storm with 10 threads in it, then you get the points for 10 threads. Why are 3speak videos showing up as double on Leo? Task asked. Yeah, we need to figure out something for that, because we're showing the embed of the 3speak video, and then we're also showing when you put a link to a 3speak video, it's also automatically embedding it as well. So I think on other UIs, they're just showing like the raw link. And that's the way that 3speak works, is that you upload a video and there's an embed code, and then there's also a link to the 3speak video below it. So our system actually automatically turns that 3speak link into an embedded video. So then it looks like there's two versions of video, because you've got the embed and then you've got the link below it. So we got to figure something out where our UI can recognize that if it's already showing the embedded part, then it doesn't need to embed the link as well, which is going to be kind of a complicated nuance to handle, but we'll probably figure something out for it at some point. Just not a priority right now. Samuel said, how can one get a referral code to get more people? It's in your settings page. So if you click under more in the menu, and then go to settings, it's at the top of the page. You can copy the link, but it's basically just it uses your Hive username. That's also an interesting thing. Yeah, that's an interesting thing about the referral program we've built. And this kind of goes to something that was talked about on the Lion's Den on Friday. Task and simple game. We're talking about, putting things on the Hive blockchain and storing data on Hive. And I jumped in the Threadcast, and I was saying that, one unique thing that I think is underappreciated about Leo, especially by, the broader, call them Hive elite or whatever you want to call them, is that we actually put like pretty much anything we're capable of, we put it on the blockchain. So, it literally stems to like even the most niche things like the referral system, where we could have easily built just a centralized referral system and service, and it would have honestly been a lot easier to build if we built it that way. That just collected numbers and data into a centralized database, a server that we own. We could have easily done that, but instead of doing that, we actually built a referral system where a code goes on the blockchain and it uses your Hive account username to track the referral. So the referral system can actually, it's literally readable directly from the chain. And this is a lens into the way that we build a lot of things, really. And like I said, everything that I think is worthwhile to put on chain, we do put on chain. So, a big thesis behind that is that I do believe that one day, all the, Leo technology is going to go into open source nodes. And like you guys, if you want to, you'll be able to run a node and run all this data on your own. And then, Leo will be a distributed system in terms of all this architecture. And a big piece of that is that if we put all this stuff on the chain, then it'll be easily readable by any node and anyone who wants to, leverage those services. So, for example, like if Simple Game wants to use our referral system, in order to track something related to his games that he's building, he could literally just look at the Hive blockchain, track the exact referral data that we're tracking, and then build his own system to handle it. So he's actually doing that right now for premium subscribers. So premium subscribers, we have an API, and then it also is publishing data to the Hive blockchain. So again, I jumped in that Threadcast and I said Lions put everything on chain, which is also borrowed from Nifty, where he said when you've got text, put it on the chain. So it's that's super important. Ahmad Manga just said when bug free INLEO. Yeah, like I said, I consider bug free to be 99% bug free. So that's not, you're never going to have an experience where you have no bugs. Just look at when we started this X space.
I'm pretty sure that's his like standard comedic question, because I think it comes every single week.
Yeah. And even look at X, they've got billions of dollars and thousands of developers, and you still have bugs. Honestly, it's sometimes more buggy than INLEO for me.
So, incentivizing is always whatever key in terms of interaction. So I saw a question that basically, what was it? What is the benefits of being on the top of the leadership board?
The benefit of being on the top. So we're going to do different. Well, first of all, your name will just be at the top. I think there's going to be a lot of clout to that, and then people can click your name and upvote you. Yeah, bragging rights.
Wow.
And then I'm sure we're going to come out with some sort of like badge system as well when we end up doing some stuff with NFTs. So there's going to be some fun
We
badges.
don't need no stinking badges. Ah,
and then I also, like I mentioned, I want to do some bounty programs and some stuff to reward you guys. So we'll come up with some cool stuff. I kind of want to do it like LPUD. I keep mentioning that, where we'll be able to incentivize on a regular basis the people who go to the top of the leaderboard. So
I just
I
enjoy
see
that.
Vic Man asked the same question twice. I replied via text, but I'm going to need screenshots and hashtag feedback. So asking here won't help me fix it. But
Yes,
if you post
hashtag
a
feedback.
if you post a thread with feedback, that will help me fix it. And this is my public service announcement, which is essentially recurring every couple AMAs. But we need more hashtag feedback threads. So you guys asked for a bug-free experience. You want things to work well. You have to play your part in that. And if you guys post threads with feedback, then I can fix stuff. And obviously giving information, screenshots and data about what's going on is extremely important. So
Interesting, interesting. I mean, yeah, I think user specific questions you definitely want to post and use the feedback tag. I don't know that like individual user issues are going to get answered on the like AMA. Um, it's a ask me anything, not a tech support session.
yeah.
And as much as problems being solved are awesome, I'm pretty sure the other umpteen people that are listening are not trying to sit through a user support ticket. And that's actually, I say that from experience because, like, I've done a lot of coaching in regards to like real estate investing and whatnot. And that's always a problem where, like, you run into a situation where it's just like it becomes about solving like an issue for one person and like the other people kind of just sitting there waiting
Right.
for it to end. So, time and a place for everything.
Yeah, I would say feedback threads are the way to go for that stuff.
Ahmad Manga has asked yet again when emoji reactions in threadcasts. I
Yeah,
didn't even
there's
know
going to
that
be
was
a
going
thread
to be a thing.
that's on the roadmap. I've talked about it a few times, but there's going to be a few updates that get rolled out to Threadcast specifically all at once.
Let me
Task
scroll
said
back
when
up.
news to threads feature gets at being added to the UI. Yeah, so I put out a GitLab talking about that. Um, you know, the problem that I'm aiming to solve by doing something like that is getting more high quality content and real time news on threads. Um, and if you guys don't know, News to Threads is an AI system that we built in Discord where a select group of lions can essentially share links with the bot, and then the bot will auto summarize it into 3 threads and then share it on threads automatically. So it's actually a really cool way to get high quality news added to the UI, where you can actually essentially like you can read a bunch of news articles without actually reading the articles because you're just getting like the quick 3 thread summary while you're scrolling the feed. And if you are curious to dive deeper into like a piece of news or maybe there's some charts in the article gets linked in the 4th thread. So you can like read the summary and then decide if it's worth reading the full article, and then you can click and it'll link you out. So I think News to Threads is actually a super high quality way to bring great news to the UI in a real time format, and in a really convenient way. Right now, like I said, it's all in Discord, but I do think that adding it to the UI will bring a lot more usage to it, which in my opinion would bring a lot more real time news and high quality information to threads. So the current, I put that in the GitLab because my idea for it is basically for premium users, add a new page where you can use news to threads, and you can basically call the bot for it. And then you don't have to go to Discord, which I think, again, that opens it up from like, I don't know how many Lions have access to it right now, maybe 10, 15, something like that. It opens it up from being that small subgroup to being the entire group of premium users, which is about 200 right now. So that gives 200 people access to news to threads. And then it allows you guys to bring that high quality information. So yeah, Taz said I set it all to 5 threads. Yeah, it's you can set it to I think it's between 3 and 5, something like that. Vic Van said, what is the connection between LeoDex and liquidity providing? Well, LeoDex is an interface for the Maya protocol, and Leo has a pool on the Maya protocol called Leo. Well, it's Leo Cacao are the 2 assets in it, and you can use LeoDex to add liquidity. You can also use any Maya UI, but I would recommend using LeoDex, obviously, to add liquidity to that pool. That we didn't even talk about any LeoDex upcoming features, but one of the big releases that's about to come is the new Geyser UI for LeoX, and then the migration of the Geyser from the wrap Leo ETH pool to the Leo Cacao pool. So I would say that's going to be kind of one of the next major releases for us. And the goal there is to incentivize liquidity to go to the Leo Cacao pool, because I think it's much more valuable to have more liquidity there, especially for the Hive aggregator, but also for other reasons. Gargi said, is LeoShorts only for premium? No, it's not only for premium currently. I don't think we'll ever close it down for just premium, unless maybe if 3speak told us that it was getting hammered too hard. But I think it's going to be fine. So yeah, it's currently planned to be for any user who wants to make it. One idea I had too was, kind of similar to Threads, where you can do where you can upload a thread with a certain character limit, 240 characters if you're not premium, but then you can go up to 1,000 if you are premium. I was thinking about doing shorts where you can make up to 30-second shorts if you're non-premium, or up to 60 seconds, or maybe even 2 minutes if you are premium. So we'll see. We'll see. Right now, there's no limitations though. So we're going to roll it out and then play with it, see how it evolves in the real environment, and then from there we can decide. And then Ben asked, "What is the Geyser?" When the new UI is released, you'll find out. There's going to be a lot of information for it. Vic Van said, "Will the LeoShorts length be regulated?" Yeah. So as it stands, you can only do up to 60 seconds. So it's videos that are 60 seconds or less. If you want to do a video that's longer, you should upload it via the publish page, which is also going to get rolled out soon. You'll be able to publish 3speak videos. So, long form, the normal like YouTube video style. So anything from, 60 seconds to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. I did see a question before too. I can't find it in the threadcast right now, but someone was asking, what is the beneficiary setup going to be like? I think it might have been Bitcoin Flood for shorts.
Yeah, it was. I saw that.
Yeah. So I will release that when we actually release the feature, because it does tie into the whole containers approach. And I don't want to give away how the containers work just yet. So yeah, I will I'll talk about that more when the time comes. But there is going to be a small beneficiary that goes to 3speak. Obviously, they require that in order to cover their server costs and whatnot. So that is going to be a piece of it. But then there's going to be more information related to that when I release the exact information of how the containers work. Task repeated. A question here: will Leo AI allow for pulling the names of people who posted in a threadcast? Can the one who set up the threadcast get that information? Pulling the names of people who posted. I mean, technically, you could do that by clicking author right now. And you can see just a full list of, like, if you click author right now, you'll see the list of people who've commented in the threadcast. But yeah, I mean, in terms of just that general information, yeah, like you could prompt Leo AI and say who commented in, at Taskmaster 4450's threadcast on July 23rd, 2024. And then it would spit out a list of all the usernames. I don't see why that wouldn't work. So yeah, you probably could prompt it, and then you could ask it, make me a table of all the people who commented in the threadcast, and then on the second column, tell me how many comments, how many, replies they made during the threadcast. And you probably could even say how you could even ask it other information, like, how many minutes passed between each comment by each user. So you could say, like, well, Gargi commented 20 times on the INLEO AMA threadcast, and each comment was, an average of 2 minutes apart. You could probably get information like that as well. So yeah, you just got to remember that, like, this is an LLM model like all the others. It's just trained on the local information of the Hive blockchain as well. So, any logical question that you can ask it, it should be able to give you information. Ahmad Manga, how accurate is Leo AI? Let's just take that as how accurate is Leo AI. ChatGPT isn't very accurate sometimes. Yeah, I mean, really all LLMs can get confused, or they can make stuff up. That's kind of the nature of them. That has slowly been improving over time, but keep in mind that Leo AI is trained on, essentially the latest ChatGPT model, but then it also has the Hive blockchain data and threads data and blogs data. So, it can also have, those kind of fairy tale moments as well, just like any other LLM. And that should hopefully improve over time as the models get better. But yeah, you should, if you're using, and it kind of says that disclaimer on all LLMs, and we'll have it as well, where, like, if it's important information for some reason, you should basically verify that information. So, like, if if you're asking it for, like, and I definitely wouldn't recommend doing this, but if you're asking, ChatGPT, for example, for medical advice, I would definitely recommend verifying that with a real doctor, and don't just take ChatGPT's word for it. These are
Oh
like
my
2 years
goodness.
old. Like, this is a brand new thing. So
I'm just thinking
LLMs in
about the
general.
future. Thinking about the
Yeah.
future where that's going to be a thing where people literally just
And
asking ChatGPT for.
the future is now. I know people that have done that. I mean, even from basic standards, like, recommend me a vitamin protocol. And it's like, okay, well, that's good, but, like, still take it with a grain of salt. Like, this is, it doesn't know you,
Well,
and it's not a doctor. So
I mean, yeah, and the equivalent of that, I think all that in like that instance right there, that example to me, all it is you're using the AI to essentially do the work for you in terms of instead of me going out on Google and Googling like, oh, what vitamin supplements are good for, a male age, blah, 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 and then like reading through different articles, you're basically just having ChatGPT do all that work for you. But at the end of the
yeah,
day, it's just like, well, you're living off of essentially a Google search.
right.
But yeah,
Right.
it's
You're
interesting.
basically I would view it as like you're hiring a, cheap assistant to do Google research for you and then give you the information.
Yes. At least,
So
right now.
that assistant can get things wrong, like they could do a Google search for you and pick on, some bad and unreliable sources, and then give you that information and say, yeah, this is what Google said. And then if you take that at face value, it could be bad information. Maybe they went to page 50 on the Google search and then started giving you information from there. So I would say that's actually like a really good framework for viewing the way that these LLM models give you information. You don't know which page of Google that information is coming from, essentially.
Yep. I mean, that's just my point of view now. Obviously, it's all going to evolve to a point of where it's probably really scary in my point of view in terms of the abilities of AI. But
Yeah, Casper said, will Threadcasts up top always require premium? And I typed back that, yeah, it will. So any user can make, this is actually a great lens into how premium works in general. Any user on the platform, whether you're premium or not, can make a Threadcast. But if you make a Threadcast and you're premium, then it goes to the top of the page. It's essentially free promotion for your Threadcast, but only if you're premium. So if you're not premium, then your Threadcast doesn't get promoted to the top of the page.
I was not aware of that, which means a lot of other people probably were not aware of that. That's pretty cool. So A, that means there's actually been more Threadcast going on than, I've assumed prior just by looking up top. And yeah, that's definitely something that, a feature that should be communicated because people want exposure and, you're literally at the top of the homepage essentially, you know, lit up in purple.
Yeah, yeah, and also lit up on anyone who, including you, anyone who comments on your Threadcast. If the creator is premium, also gets a purple icon around their username. So everywhere that they are on the UI commenting in other places, your Threadcast is getting promoted automatically. So again, it's a great microcosm of how the entire premium feature set is meant to work, which is that we've built kind of this freemium model. And when you're premium, you get more exposure, more upvotes, more features than other users. But the 90% of the INLEO experience is available to everyone. But if you are premium, you get that extra juice, that extra 10%. So
Yes. Moral of the story, if you're doing Threadcast and you're not a premium member, you're not helping out your Threadcast.
yeah, you're still making a
Uh,
Threadcast, you're just not getting any promotion for it. You
exactly.
have to do your own self-promotion, which is pretty much standard.
Uh, Guri123 asked, any plan to onboard short video influencers to promote Leo Shorts? I mean, I think that's one of the same though, because most influencers um, are also doing shorts, like in terms of other platforms.
Say that again.
And basically asked if there's any plan to onboard short video influencers to promote Leo Shorts.
Oh yeah, I mean, the you know we've been Eric and I have been working to find influencers and work with them and bring them on board. And task set influencers are a waste of time. I definitely don't agree. I think if you can get the right partnerships set up, they can be a great way to bring in users. You look at the broader economy out there, and the face of business has actually, in general, has changed completely. I mean, look at Mr. Beast making, probably at this point billions of dollars in yearly revenue, based
Crazy.
solely on being an influencer. So it's yeah, this is the landscape has completely changed, but you need to approach it in the right way, especially in the crypto industry. I would say that 80% of influencers in the crypto industry are full of shit. So they're shilling coins, they're making money on NFTs in the background. They're finding, they're basically just on the latest grift always. So, we've reached out to a bunch of them and found that there's plenty of them where all they want is a grift. They want to figure out how they can make the most money possible at the expense of their user base or their followers. So yeah, Casper said they shouldn't be used. They're a waste of time. I also disagree completely. It depends on, like many things in life. You can do things the wrong way, or you can do them the right way. And if you do them with a bad approach, it's like a good idea executed poorly is a bad idea. And a bad idea executed well is also probably a bad idea. So you need to both have a good idea and a good execution. So we need to spend the time researching and talking with these influencers. That's why it's not like, we could go out and find 100 influencers to promote INLEO tomorrow. The question is, how much do they want to charge us? What are they actually, going to say about us? Are we, retaining the people that they bring to us? And is this someone that we want to work with, long term? I think it was Warren Buffett that has a quote like this. But if you don't want to work with someone for 10 minutes, or if you don't want to work with someone for 10 years, you shouldn't work with them for 10 minutes. So I think he said that about investing, but I think he also said it about people as well. So find people that you want to work with for 10 years and then work backward from there.
Makes sense. So
But a lot of
yeah,
people, especially in crypto, are looking at influencers where they can do a one-time promotion, pump their bags, and then leave. And that's not the approach that I want to take.
yep. And at the end of the day, it's just like you're working multiple avenues of growth. So some are going to be more beneficial than others. Some are going to turn out to be a waste of time. Some are going to be unexpectedly, you know, fruitful. So yeah, I think exploring that route still makes sense. And, you just pivot as needed.
Yep. Guri said, will Leo AI be more of a chatbot? So I've talked about this before, but Leo AI has kind of two broader categories to it. One is that it's a chat. There's going to be a new page on the UI, which will kind of look like what you're familiar with, whether you use Grok or, Google's AI or ChatGPT. There's like the chatting interface and you type and you chat back and forth with the bot, with the AI. So there's that part of it. And then the second part is more of a co-pilot, where it actually is kind of working with you while you're working on other things. So, for example, you might be writing a blog post, and there's going to be a little section at the right side, and then you'll be able to use the co-pilot while you're writing. So it may suggest, different ways to write your title. It may suggest, a featured image for your blog post, and it'll create an image for you, and then you can click a button and it inserts it. And there's various other things. Or like if you're running a threadcast, you'll have a co-pilot, and then it'll say, you'll be able to prompt it and say, separate the questions from the comments in this threadcast. And then it'll sort you all the actual questions. And it will do so not by, like right now, you guys could label stuff, hashtag question, which I do see a lot of people doing. And that, kind of helps us, sort through and just, scan for questions. But if you ask the AI to sort the questions, it will actually do it logically. So it'll say, okay, Wananda asks, is the scheduling post feature now functional? Question mark. Versus Samuel just said we should find ways of retaining more users, especially new ones. So it will be able to say, logically speaking, Samuel's is a statement and Wananda's is a question, and then it'll separate them. So there's going to be a lot of to Leo AI. And I've said this a few times, but Leo AI is kind of like our next big leap in terms of technology. So, Leo's been around for 5 years now, and we've had, several different leaps in terms of, major technologies we've built, whether it's threads or something else. And Leo AI is kind of that next major, step function leap for us.
I keep seeing a bunch of questions about video feature on long form.
Yeah, I mentioned that we've been testing. We actually rolled it out for like a day, and there were a couple people that messaged me and said there were a bunch of issues with it. So then I pulled it back to get worked on a little bit more. I actually was talking to 3speak's team this morning about some of the issues we've been having. So I'm we're going to roll it out along with the other features this Friday. It's been a lot harder to integrate than I expected, especially the way that I want to do it, which is to make it, as easy as possible for you guys, in terms of uploading videos. So it's been It's been a challenge, but yeah, I think Friday, I'm pretty confident with, you know, with the latest data we got on their APIs. I think after we implement this last round of fixes, it's gonna be working flawlessly. So Sunseeker's in the audience. She's been helping me test it a lot. So you know, she gave me a few last pieces of feedback, and then based on that, we've made some fixes to the APIs, and I think we're looking good for Friday.
Cool. Uh, Renanda asked, is the scheduling post feature now functional?
No, we still need to work on that. We definitely still need to work on that. I wouldn't, you technically can use it. I wouldn't rely on it right now. Again, that's another thing we need to work on, in terms of stability.
What else do we have?
Casper, Leo AI will be available only if you're premium after a certain, we'll do a trial period where anyone can use it, but then it'll be premium only. And I've talked reason for that, but you know, it actually costs us money every month. The more that people use Leo AI, it will cost us more and more money every month. So, you know, while we could give access to it to people who have a certain amount of Leo staked, you know, that wouldn't help us with recurring costs. So yeah, I have been thinking about something though where we would discount premium if you've got a certain amount of Leo staked. But we'll, you know, that's potentially for the future.
I think someone needs to create, or maybe I'll even do it, a Leo shots meme because so many people apparently keep typoing. I've seen Leo shots in so many threads. We could definitely have some fun making a Leo shots meme,
Maybe they're just all
whether
from
it's
Boston.
Leo shots.
Leo
There you go.
shots. Leo shots.
We could have, a lion with a bunch of shots in front of him, ready to get tanked. Or you could have, a gun, Leo shots.
We need more memes and GIFs. That's for
We
sure.
definitely need more memes. I did a meme last AMA. No one really jumped on it
Oh, I
because
remember
we were
that
talking
one. You were talking about all the different memes in
all
the
the meme
car.
coins.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
because of all the meme coins and the meme coin craziness, and so which there's some
Sarah.
people talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I mean, this is becoming a more recurring theme in the internet, but you know, memes are a good way of transferring information. Sarah said, I'm curious what the subscription money for premium users is used for. So it actually says on the premium page too, but the 100% of this premium sub revenue buys Leo and then pools it in the Leo Cacao pool. So it's buying Leo and then it's permanently pooling it in that Leo Cacao pool. So you can actually track the address for the Leo pool account, and it's just growing. So I didn't check what it's at recently, especially with all the market dynamics changing. But the last time I did check it, it was around like $7,000 or $8,000 so far. And we've got 200 premium subscribers. So right now there's $2,000 a month buying Leo, pooling it permanently and adding to that balance. And then you know, it'll just keep stacking. But that goes to show you why my goal of 1,000 premium subscribers is so important, because imagine if it was buying and pooling $10,000 a month worth of Leo. It would be pretty powerful to stack that much Leo into the pool every month. That would be about 10 at the current pool size. That would be about 10% of the whole pool right now would be added every single month. And then every year, you know, it would be obviously more than double the current pool size. It would be each year. And then obviously, hopefully just keep scaling from there as the user base grows. But you can imagine with 1,000 premium subscribers, like the growth of the economy around the Leo token would be so dramatic. You know, in terms of that buy pressure and then permanent liquidity, which then drives in more value capture through the Hive aggregation technology, Leo Dex, Leo Bridge. You know, it helps us in so many ways in terms of generating more value capture for the Leo token economy. So, we're all very familiar with how Hive works in the cycles, and when the Hive price goes up significantly, a lot of people come back to the blockchain, or come for the first time because they want to earn those juicy rewards. So a very similar effect will happen with Leo, where as the Leo token performs well, a lot of people are going to come back or join the platform for the first time and be interested. And if we have the right flywheels and value capture models in place, then those new people coming in will then add to the flywheel, and then it just keeps spinning. And then we can keep growing with network effects. So hopefully my vision of doing all of this stuff is quite clear to you guys, that I'm making sure that we have all these value capture models in place so that as we start growing, the growth actually creates more growth for the Leo token economy. So that is the goal. Fred said, is LeoShorts going to be released this Friday, or the other updates as well?
Shots.
Yeah, that would be a great meme. When someone used one of those AI music creators to turn that into
that needs to be a Leo short.
That needs to be a Leo short.
Someone needs to make a Leo short with Leo shots.
And then we'll play it. We'll play it at the Leo conference too.
Right.
And
that
some
does
shots.
not get popular on INLEO, then I don't know what will.
Samuel said, oh, well, I didn't even answer that question. I got distracted by the shots.
That's what happens.
It does happen
shots.
That way. So Fred asked, is it going to come out this Friday? Yeah. The current plan is to have it out this Friday. We'll see. Again, we're testing this stuff as much as we can before we push it to production. But the plan is, I'm going to put out an announcement before it happens. Expect some bugs on Friday for a short period of time. We're going to roll everything out, and then I'm going to be watching with the devs. We're all going to be sitting at the same time to watch the feedback roll in, fix it, and immediately push everything back, keep pushing back to production. So we're going to need a lot of people. I guess if you're here right now and listening to this, we're going to need a lot of people actively using the UI on Friday when we do all this stuff. And it'll be like a live bug hunting, marathon. And if you guys can be live with us and posting feedback, we'll be able to fix a lot of this stuff and make sure that it stays in production and hopefully doesn't get rolled back to labs, after we do some bug testing. So, I've talked about this so many times, but we build this stuff in a vacuum. We find bugs, with a small team of people testing. But at the end of the day, until this stuff goes out into production, there's simply not enough edge cases being tested to find every bug. So that's why it's so important to have this stuff in production. That's why it's so important. Ahmad Manga said, is there a job open for being a full-time tester on labs? Yeah, I mean, I talked about it a little bit, but I do think at one point we're going to do something where you guys will be able to sign up for a private beta, private labs. So it's it's really important to have it's really important to have the private testing, but then also the public testing, I guess is my point. There's especially, and I have like a gripe with Android, because Android, I would say like 80% of bugs are Android related. And it's because there are so many nuances to Android specifically. It's just, there's so many different devices and software versions and apps and browsers and all of the things. It just gets so complicated. So again, like until you have a broad set of users using these things in a live environment, you'll never find all the bugs. So that's why we do things the way we do them. Sunseeker said, I talked with a user about how Cal has a long-term roadmap, so he wasn't just rushing into any decisions. And he said, I like that. I want things done now, but it's good to have a project leader that can ignore the noise and work on what's actually needed. Yeah, I've talked about this, over the years as Leo has progressed. And my approach has obviously evolved over time as well. But from a broad standpoint, it's really remained the same, that I have, I essentially have a 5 to 10 year roadmap of where we're headed. in terms of features, in terms of things I want to build, in terms of the Leo token economy, ultimately, building to that $100 million market cap goal for the Leo token, and beyond. But that being said, like I've got that whole roadmap. There's things on it like LeoShorts or the leaderboard or the referral system, or Leo AI, et cetera. Like there's all sorts of things on that roadmap. And there's a rough outline that I have in terms of timeline for it. But that being said, I'm always listening to you guys, whether it's on the hashtag feedback tag or just in threads in general, or in Discord or during these AMAs. I'm always kind of listening to you guys and looking for what your problems are, what you're asking for, what feedback you have about the things that are already out or the things that are, coming soon. And doing so, allows me to adapt in real time. So, I may actually switch things in the roadmap based on what I'm hearing from you guys. And there's plenty of examples of me doing that over the years, but it's kind of like we have I have the direction of where we're setting our sales to head. And then along the way, we have different milestones, and I may make pit stops for those milestones, and change those pit stops along the way, based on what you guys are saying. So there's definitely a broad sense of where we're going, and then you guys have a very profound impact on, if anything changes, along that journey. So that's kind of my general approach to how we build things. I see Nifty is posting LeoShorts songs, and I'm so tempted to play one right now.
I don't know. It's yeah, no, it was like it seemed like it was an actual song about like, I don't know. I didn't listen to it. I just read the like I brought it up and I read like the lyrics.
Hmm.
I don't know what exactly it is. Like if he
All right, I'll have to listen to this later, but it
I don't know
seems
if he
pretty cool.
found that or just made it or what.
I think he made it using this AI service,
Yeah,
Suno.com. I've actually never seen it.
He did that super fast.
Yeah, I've never seen this before. That's funny
He
though.
was just like sitting in the background and all of a sudden just boom, drop the thread with songs.
Yeah, you said they're AI songs. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Gonna have to check that out.
Wild.
Super wild.
What else we got? What else we got? Apparently Morty turned me into an alien.
Well, there you go. I see one where he turned you into some kind of robot.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I gotta find that one.
Self-help for trolls said definitely not a priority over shorts or AI, but it would be nice to have a high market cap page. Yeah, well, we actually have this on the roadmap. It's just way back on the back burner because I don't think it's like a super priority right now. But I have an idea to do inside the wallet page. You know how like CoinGecko, you can like build a portfolio of your different crypto assets and then you can track them. I've had this on the roadmap for years at this point. But I want to add like a market cap page. So create a portfolio of the assets you hold, and you can enter your buys in, and then you can track, how much each one is worth in real time. And obviously that would include Hive, it would include Leo, Cacao, Rune, Bitcoin, all of the, all the top coins. So you'll actually be able to like build your own portfolio there. And then if you wanted to, you could actually then use that and like insert it into threads, and it would have like a nice little crossover effect. But yeah, it's just not super high on the priority list right now. But one day we'll build something like that, which again would be and if we could build it in a way where, and this is another thing I want to do, where you can actually like for certain coins. So like, let's say that a lot of us are talking about, Hive, or Rune, really any example you want to use. But let's say there's, you go to it essentially would look like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap when you go to this page. But then when you click on a specific asset, like say, Hive, you open that page and then it shows you like the latest news and then like the latest stories or something, however we want to call those categories. And the news would show any of the recent threads, and you'll be able to scroll through it through history. that talk about Hive or tag Hive using the $Hive tag in threads. So it'll actually show you like real time what people are saying about Hive on threads. And then below that, it'd show like latest stories, and you'll be able to scroll through it, and it would show you like what are the latest blog posts that are being written about Hive. And it would show them based on the tags and keywords. And then you'll be able to read through those. So we would actually be building essentially a replacement for like CoinMarketCap, but it would have like the supercharged features of INLEO, added to it. So then we could and I look at this as kind of a marketing thing, where then we take that page and then we spread it around, to the crypto universe. And if we can build some things in there that are unique, in terms of value proposition and something that the market wants, then we have the potential to then share that and then bring in new users. And it kind of turns into its own, kind of marketing machine to onboard more people. I saw Task reminded me that I didn't finish the list of new features. So the next one on the list, I talked about shorts, I talked about leaderboard, I talked about referrals. The next one is the content recommendation engine. So there's actually a GitLab issue that I published about that, but we already started working on it as well. So if you have feedback, you're still welcome to post it, and then I can tweak things. But we've started working on the content recommendation engine. Essentially, what it is, there's a few different areas of the UI where it's going to get implemented. The main one I would say that you guys are going to notice, and I think will be the most useful, is when you're on a thread. And X actually released this, I think, in the last like 6 months or a year or something. But when you're on a thread, it will actually read so it'll look at what the thread is talking about in terms of keywords and the author and whatnot. And then it'll create a little algorithm that will then give you like 2 to 5 recommended threads related to the one you're looking at. So it's like related threads is essentially what it's going to be called. So when you click on a thread, there's going to be a section. If you keep scrolling, it'll say related threads, and then it'll show you other threads that are similar to the one you're already looking at. And those can be threads that are posted anything within the last, 7 days, for example. And I think it's just going to be, and I talked about the problem that we're aiming to solve with that, which is content discovery. I still believe that content discovery is a major issue, on the blockchain and just in general. So, with threads, I want to make it easier to discover, high quality threads. And I think a big piece of that is adding this recommendation engine. Again, I'm hoping to have this out. This one maybe by Friday or next Tuesday, I would say is probably more likely, but you'll be able to scroll and just see recommended threads, and it'll help you discover, more content that you're interested in because you obviously clicked on that thread that you're reading for a reason. Tasser said recommend engines are crucial for page views and engagement. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like you already know. If you think about it fundamentally, like the UI already knows that you like whatever you're reading because you've clicked on it. So why wouldn't it be showing you more things that are similar to what you're currently reading, with the ultimate goal of getting you to click on those things? And then you can just keep going down a rabbit hole, kind of like Wikipedia. Like you guys know the whole Wikipedia game where you can start at a word and then you can keep clicking hyperlinks and it takes you down a rabbit hole and you can end up on a completely unrelated thing by the end of it. But you've made like this whole journey down a rabbit hole. This would be a very similar thing. At least that would be the goal, which is where you could start at one thread and then and maybe it's about like Bitcoin, whatever the Bitcoin latest news is. And then you get recommended another thread about Bitcoin, and then you keep going. Then maybe you eventually get to a thread that talks about, will the Ethereum ETFs perform the same way the Bitcoin ETFs did? And then suddenly you're on to Ethereum, and then you're getting recommended things about Ethereum, and now you're on like this Ethereum rabbit hole. So I think it'll be really interesting and cool to use. So we're gonna roll that out hopefully this week, and then we'll tweak it over time and make sure it works well. What was the last one on my list? The For You feed algo. So yeah, we're making some tweaks right now to that algorithm. You guys have already noticed that it seems to be working a little bit better already. But we're going to be making a lot more tweaks to that as well, along with tying in Leo AI as much as possible. So, my goal is actually that the For You feed starts to become like the default feed that everyone wants to use. I tried to force it on you guys, if you remember, when I first released it. I tried to force you guys all to use it by making it the default feed, and people got you guys got very upset about that. So I do think we're all kind of stuck in this hive culture about, we want to see the latest content always. We want to look at the new feed in terms of what's coming out. But if you look at other social media platforms, really, I'd say at this point, 100% of them use a For You feed as the default feed. So when you go to X, when you go to Facebook, when you go to Instagram, it's not showing you things in chronological order, because that is actually a very inefficient way to show you the things that you are most likely to click on. And again, that is the fundamental purpose of social media, which is to create as many user minutes as possible, to basically keep you on the app or the site or whatever for as long as possible, and also to give you a good experience so that you keep coming back and essentially just use it as much as possible. So our fundamental purpose is no different than that. We want to make you utilize the Leo UI as much as possible, and keep you on it for as long as possible. So showing things in chronological order is a absolutely terrible way to do that, because at any given time there's going to be things posted that you're not going to be interested in. So why would we show you things that you're not interested in? That being said, it's for a small organization like us, building an AI algorithm to feed you content is not something we're going to be doing overnight. So I do think that after some more tweaks and improvements, and then Leo AI comes out, the For You feed will be at a point where I think we could make it the default feed. And then if you want the latest feed, you obviously can change that in your settings page. But I think what's important is that we get it to the point where everybody wants it to be their default feed. And then we make that switch, especially for new users. Like, if you think about it, a new user comes in, if they look at the latest feed, they're going to see a bunch of shit that they don't care about. So that's not a good experience. That's not a good experience at all. So we need to change that. So yeah, we've been working on some tweaks. I've been playing around with a lot of different tweaks for the For You to just make it better. So I would say by this time next week, I would say if you check the For You feed again, it's going to be drastically different than it is now. That being said, we've already done some of the tweaks, and it's already improved relative to where it was before. So I would say you should start playing with it, giving it a shot, and using it. And I've seen Task mention this as well. The more you guys use the For You feed, actually, the better it gets. So it learns. So it's important that you guys actually use it. And the more that you guys use it, the better it's going to get. So just play around with it. I'm not saying you have to ditch your latest feed completely, but I would say play around with it and see, see how it performs. And Godfish said maybe we can publish less shit, which is funny, but it's also an important thing to address in terms of social media. There's always going to be shit that gets published, and the more users we get, especially across the spectrum of the user, the potential user bases out there who have very diverse interests, technically the amount of shit that gets posted is only going to go up. So we're only going to get more and more shitty content, if you really think about it, as the user base grows. So, it's not our job to police the shit. It's our job to sort it. You can think of us like garbage collectors. We're not going to prevent you from throwing shit out, but we are going to need to sort it and make sure it goes to the right place. So, that's our job. You could look at us as garbage collectors at the end of the day.
Clean up aisle 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think Ahmad Manga's question is a great way to wrap up. When 1,000 premium members?
When? I hope
Soon.
soon. I hope soon. We need
Oh,
to keep growing that number. Like I said, we're
hopefully
at
very
about
soon.
200. But yeah, I do want to see that number grow.
That is the goal, and that would be beneficial to all the things. Um, yeah, we've been
Apparently,
going a
Self
while
Help for
now.
Trolls shit's gold because his shit posts are golden.
Ah, there you go.
Um, yeah. No, I know you were joking, Godfish. I just thought that was funny. Um, Yeah, it's pretty funny.
There you go.
Um, but
Dumpster
yeah,
fire.
do you want to close out a little market talk? While we've been on, Bitcoin is down about 2.5%.
Yeah, Bitcoin's
Looks like
getting
the
smacked
Ethereum
today,
ETF is not doing its job for us.
right? Or maybe it is. What's Ethereum doing? Or is Ethereum also down?
Ethereum's down as well.
Yeah, just a
I
tiny
believe it
bit.
started trading today, right? Yeah, traded today. Bloomberg an hour ago says it trades over $500 million.
Well, that's telling, and that went live today, and it wasn't like the talk of the town.
That being said, the Bitcoin ETF kind of did the same thing. Remember, it came out and then it was like
True,
lackluster, super lackluster. And we
true.
actually tanked in price, I think.
Yeah, I
But
remember.
then suddenly started grinding up.
Well, I mean, and obviously being down today sort of isn't a surprise just because we just ripped from, like 55, 56 straight up to like 68 on very little volume.
Yeah.
So we were bound to see a pullback day. I'm just happy that Bitcoin's back in that range in between 60 and 72 because it was looking ugly for a minute there, at least,
Yeah, it was. It was looking bad.
price chart wise.
55K was a little that was a little scary.
Yeah, I mean, we got that dip all the way down to 53 and a half. I was lucky enough to grab some at like 54.7, but it was very little. And then I also bought a little bit up at like I think it was like 57.8 or something like that. So, but very little. Didn't have much dry powder to work with. But yeah, my
Oh
point of
yeah.
view is I'm glad we're back in the range.
Yeah, I am as well. Hopefully we stick above 60 for a little while. That'd be favorable. Um, Taskmaster just reminded me that I am going to be on the Lions Den uh, this Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Sweet.
So be there or be square.
I'll put a reminder on my calendar because sometimes I'm around and just totally forget. And then I like look up and I'm like, oh, I just missed it. Crap. Cool deal. Well, a lot of awesome updates and a lot of stuff about to pop off.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we've been really kind of cooking in the background, just working on a lot of stuff. That was very back end intensive. Um, but I think you guys will see. I'll post some screenshots of the leaderboard and some other things today. But you guys will see, the kind of radical feature improvements that we've made, with a lot of this back end and front end stuff. So definitely been the last couple of weeks have been really challenging. A lot of effort has gone into what comes next. So um,
Well, I
I've
mean,
been pretty deep in the trenches.
July is going to turn out to be a very, very productive month, which I
Yeah.
mean, next Tuesday is pretty much the end of July almost. That the 30th.
30th. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna end this month with a bang. That's for sure.
Nice.
Sweet.
Hopefully Eric will be functional again. I don't know if I'm around. I have family in town. I can't remember. They're leaving on Tuesday, so I don't know if I'll be making airport runs or what. So I may or may not be available on Tuesday.
Okay.
I
The
gotta see what
cat
the
the cat
schedule
is a
is.
50-50 for Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't know what time their flights are. I forgot, so I gotta double check.
No worries, no
But
worries. Yeah.
yeah, man, year
Sweet.
flying by.
Yeah.
I think
This year is going quick.
it's because busy building in Leo.
Yep. Building the Leo all the way to
Yes,
100 million.
love it. I will.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks everybody for coming.
Yep.
We'll see you
We'll see you
next.
guys on the next one.
Oh yeah, and then chain chatter tomorrow with the chain flip team. That's gonna be a huge one. We're gonna start posting announcements today, but that's gonna be a really big chain chatter. So
12 o'clock.
yep, 12 o'clock Eastern. We will see you guys there. It's gonna be that'll be probably one of the top five chain chatters in terms of attendance and the caliber of the guests we have. So They're $100
Awesome.
million protocol. So we will see you guys for Chain Chatter at noon Eastern tomorrow.
Awesome.
All right.